Hello, my name is Misty Rojo from California Coalition for Women Prisoners. I'll try and keep this short so we can get in and get lobbying and get legislative attention to this cause. First of all, I would like to honor and acknowledge someone said it in public comment, and it really needs to be reiterated that this is happening because of the inmates in SHU, that this is a movement that they started. This is not CDCR trying to be accountable, but the people in SHU trying to hold CDCR accountable. And I think we really need to remember that. And also that we always stand in solidarity with their demands. On that note, there's been little discussion about women and their conditions in solitary, and while the reasons and the lengths of time might be different, the conditions are very similar and the damage done is very similar. And to illustrate that, I'm going to read a letter that we got from one of our members inside about what her experience in SHU was like and what it does. Says we go through these kind of mental, emotional, and spiritual stages. At first, when we get here, you're angry and disconnected. You don't want to be looked at this way in a tiny cell. And again, you are reminded of how helpless you are, how utterly out of your own control your life is, and how you come to grips with the fact that you are where you are. You start to pay more attention. Gosh. You stare at your door and you watch and you listen, and you little by little figure out who is back here with you, what rooms they are in, and what they are here for. You weed through your info and you try to find someone, anyone you can reach out to, and maybe a bar of soap or a couple of envelopes, maybe even just a book. Paranoia sets in, because you've been back here for 7 dinners already and you still don't know what they are going to do with you. No one will talk to you. Finally, you go before the ICC and you feel humiliated and hopeless as they read your whole C file and look down their noses, often making snide remarks about your character and appearance. While you're trying to look them straight in the eye and bite back your words. Smile, nod. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I understand. You're back in your cell. Kind of see it for the first time. You spend time coming to terms with your situation, and then it's about trying to make this tiny brick cell livable. You spend about 3 days scrubbing bricks and whatever. Once you're settled in, you start to cycle again. You're angry at yourself and sometimes everyone else. You have no drive, no motivation, so you sleep and you lay around. And while sleep stops coming and you realize you have to build a routine or this place will eat you alive, I began to look at the box from a new angle, to think of the cell as a blessing, a place to grow, and to get to know myself better and about my goals in my future. I slowly began to think of this cell as my safe place, and as I did, I found it harder and harder to make myself leave my space. Even for a 5-minute shower, I began to have sudden panic attacks at the thought of having to step outside of my safe place. I would get anxiety even at the thought of opening the door so my cellie could go out. The times I had to go out became a nightmare. The moment I stepped out and heard the door slide shut, I would literally be convinced that the building would crumble any second, and it would crush me. God forbid I had to go outside. I felt as if the air outside was sucking the oxygen from my lungs. And then she goes on to talk about people who have hung themselves and people who are dying in solitary because of the damage that's being done to them and the fear and the degradation and the dehumanization. So on that note, all solitary, not just long-term, all solitary confinement needs to end for juveniles, for men, for women, and to make our communities whole and safe. Thank you.